feeling, Hassan? What's more embarrassing, when you shaved your head on camera, or the fact that Liverpool have lost their pull in the transfer market, bro?
This entire transfer market is a lot more embarrassing than me shaving my head. This entire transfer window has just been humiliating this last week. Honestly, it's so disgraceful. I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. Like, it's just embarrassing, this whole Caicedo situation. You know, you understand with Caicedo. I always said, look, with Caicedo, I even said it on last week's show. With Caicedo, Chelsea have been speaking to him for 3 months. It's okay, like, if he ends up going to Chelsea. But with the Lavia situation, that's the one that upset me, because the guy himself, like, the same people kept saying he prefers a move to Liverpool, he prefers to move to Liverpool. But then we ended up essentially, like, he felt backstabbed. Like, you guys are going to pay 111 for Caicedo, yet you're haggling over transfer for me. You think Caicedo is 3 times the player that I am? And we ended up playing ourselves, because, you know, the infamous meme, congratulations, you played yourself, is exactly what we did to ourselves. We just played ourselves, and we only have ourselves to blame. And Liverpool are in panic mode. Liverpool are all over the place. And now we end up with this 16th place Stuttgart DM no one's ever heard of. Yet there are certain Liverpool fans still in gaslight mode, trying to act like it's some sort of shrewd piece of business, when we all know that that's cap. It's no damn shrewd piece of business. It's a panic mode buy. We even overpaid for the guy. And, you know, I slowly, for me, the hype and the buzz for the new season is like dead already. And this whole last week and this whole transfer market after Szoboszlai, to be honest with you, has just been like very, very, very disappointing. And you could tell, because yesterday we woke up and it was Decore. 5 hours later it was Amrabat. Half an hour later we signed Endo. And it's kind of like a new guy every day. Like, it was also a link yesterday. A day onwards it was like Lemina. It's just, you could tell that Liverpool Football Club are indecisive right now. You could tell that they're not getting, you said plan A, plan B. No. Plan A. No. We're in plan H now. We're in plan J. We're in plan L, M, N, O, P. That's where we're going at now. We're far past plan A and B. Like, we're headed towards territory I haven't seen before. Like, and to be honest with you, here's the thing. When you make a mistake once, you're always willing to forgive. And all the Liverpool fans were kind of sat there this summer going like, listen, you messed up, blah, blah, blah. We're willing to give you a chance. Come fix up this summer transfer window. Let's get this, let's get this whole thing started. Even like Steve and other City fans I spoke to were always like, I'm worried about Liverpool in the title race next season. Now they're no longer worried. Like, they feel at ease. And it's because of what we done. We were all willing to go like, okay, Liverpool Football Club, fix the mess that you created. But unfortunately, we somehow managed to make it an even bigger mess. So, yeah, that's the Liverpool situation. We're on a joke thing, as they say. We're just not being serious. And the club is not being run properly. There's people, you know, the club's been given too much power by the owners. And now he's kind of the transfer guy. This George Matka guy is making transfers like he's still at Wolfsburg or wherever he was. His Endo's a Wolfsburg level signing. I mean, the only other club that wanted Endo was Freiburg. So it's not like we would have faced stiff competition for the guy. And there's 2 questions I asked to all the people who were trying to be positive about this Endo signing. Number 1, if it's such a shrewd, smart piece of business, why did we wait until August 17th to make the transfer? This is not a player we had to fight for. We could have got this guy 3 months ago if we wanted to. It's not like there was competition on him. Number 2, we all know the Bundesliga is not quality. It's not a quality league compared to the Premier League from all elements, whether it be technically, whether it be physically, from all elements. Why isn't he playing for Bayern Munich? Why isn't he playing for Borussia Dortmund? Why isn't he even playing for Leipzig? Why isn't he playing for one of these clubs? He's playing in a low block team. People don't know this, but Stuttgart is a team that plays a low block. He's a DM in a low block team. A DM in a low block team will always have good stats. So all the people posting stats and shit, all that stats doesn't matter, because a DM in a low block is always going to have very good clearances, very good duels won, because that's all he does all game long anyway. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not excited about this, and this feels like Arthur Melo all over again, because we haven't learned.
I hear you on that, Steve. I mean, you've been an outsider like me watching Liverpool's situation. I know you predict them to do very well this year, but missing out on Caicedo, missing out on Lavia, there is talk of Gravenberch, there is talk of Amrabat, there is talk of Doucouré. But again, Liverpool fans only a few weeks ago were saying 70 million for Doucouré is not of the standard. Suddenly now, I think as Sam has said, they're kind of gaslighting themselves into actually this Endo's really good. And Doucouré is just, I've heard a lot of Liverpool fans suddenly say Doucouré is just as good as Caicedo and Lavia. Do you think Liverpool's transfer window is really letting Jurgen Klopp down ahead of the new season?
Yeah, look at the team though, right? The back four: Robertson, yeah, Van Dijk, Canate, Trent, Alisson in net. The strike force, decent. It's the midfield that's letting them down. We all know that. So they're not a bad side. They're not a shit team. But when you've been built up, oh, we're going to sign Bellingham. Bellingham's dad's a Liverpool fan. His granddad's a Liverpool fan. We took him to the cinema and he watched a film and all that shit that we had to put up with. So everyone was gassed in Liverpool thinking Bellingham. So Bellingham goes Real Madrid. So you're thinking, okay, fair enough. That happens. And then you link to Caicedo, Lavia, and then to put a bid in at the amount they did, especially when Jurgen's been telling us for years that, you know, you bid 100 million for players and all that, and it's ended, you shouldn't be doing all that shit. You got to realise now, Liverpool have got to realise now that no one gives a fuck about Bill Shankly now. The kids in this generation who have grown up, the football players at 18, 19, do not care about Liverpool history. They don't. And you might be upset by that. And Liverpool fans can come at me all they want. No, Man City's got no history and all that. I know that. I know all that. I'm just telling you facts. If I've got an 18-year-old son now and he wants to play in the Premier League, he ain't choosing Liverpool. He ain't. 10 years ago, yeah, maybe. You ain't got that pull anymore. And I know people are taking the piss, but it's the truth. They haven't. You can't just put the Liverpool shirt down now and say, you want to play for that shirt. They don't want to do that anymore. Chelsea outbidding them. City outbid them. They're just not that team anymore. They got to 97 points the other year and they were an unbelievable team, let me tell you. A fucking frightening team. And they just missed out to an even better team. But they've gone backwards where Manchester City have gone forwards. We've cleaned it up. We got rid of Raheem Sterling. We've got rid of players like that. Jesus, Zinchenko. We've brought in other players that have come in. Not superstars. Akanji, people like that. We brought people in that worked with the system. Liverpool didn't do that. They kept hold of Milner too long, Oxlade-Chamberlain too long, Naby Keita too long. They kept over these players that wasn't good enough. And then now they've been forced into a market that is fucking so high and ridiculous that on the budgets that they're working to, they can't do it. When the players were 50 mil, 60 mil, Liverpool were competing, they were getting the players, they were working it, and the squad was mint. Now, Arsenal are buying Declan Rice and Liverpool are buying Endo over this Chelsea are buying Endo over this 100 million. Liverpool can't do that. They can't do that. They've got a stadium to pay for. They've left it too late. And listen, a lot of the old Liverpool fans, I get them every day. They're sending me videos of we've got a better parade than you. Who gives a fuck about a parade? We've got more fans than you. That's great. But what would you rather have now? You know, would you rather have a team competing for the league, going to Super Cups, World Club Cups, challenging for titles, or would you rather be sat in the pub telling everyone how good your parade was in 5 years' time and how Jude Bellingham's going to sign because his dad's a Scouser? It's all bollocks, man. At the end of the day...
Why have you made it about City?
Say again?
Why have you made it about City? Who's arguing that Liverpool has better pull than City? I don't think we have... I don't think we have better pull than City. I think City has the strongest pull in the league.
Who's got the strongest pull in the league?
It's Man City. I know that already. I've said this on the show.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but I'm not. But why are we comparing Liverpool's pull to City's pull?
I'm not. When did I compare Liverpool's pull to City's pull? I just said, what would you
rather? You just made it a comparison about Liverpool and City.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Listen to what you only listen to what you think you hear in your head. Listen to what I said. I said, why would you rather sit in a pub talking about that you've got a better parade, or would you rather be winning trophies and stuff? That's not comparing anything. That's
why Man City have better pull.
I agree. Liverpool. Yeah, but I know that. I know that. But you Liverpool fans of a certain age won't admit that because they're stuck in the Bill Shankly.
Man City have a better pull now? No, Man City do have a better pull.
Obviously, we're champions and won the European Cup, so people want to play for us. But what I'm saying is, if you're such a historic club with heritage, remember the show when you dragged me on and you tried to tell me that my club didn't have history and all that, yeah? Well, at the end of the day, my club might not have history, but my club can get players all over the world. My club ain't struggling and my club's winning trophies. You've got all the history and you're signing fucking Elmo from the Muppets. So at the end of the day, mate, I'd rather be a Man City fan now than a Liverpool fan. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why. Like, you're acting like anything you said I disagree with. That's the crazy part. You can ask Terry. This whole time I've said Man City have the biggest pull in the league. I've actually had us down in second place.
But do you think there's a
in terms
mentality issue at Liverpool with certain fans that are still believing that they're this massive club?
No. We are. Listen, look. Here's the thing: the two biggest clubs in England are Liverpool and Man United. But biggest club does not mean that you have automatically better pull than everyone else. That's not how life works. I mean, you could argue, for example, Arsenal is more attractive than Man United. That doesn't mean that maybe in current state. That doesn't mean that Man United are a smaller club. And the same thing, vice versa, for the City and Liverpool thing. I've always kept City in first place. My thing is, I've put Liverpool in second place in terms of pull. And I still believe that, even with everything that's happened over the last week. My only issue is our execution has been absolutely horrendous. You look at this Caicedo situation, no serious football club doesn't agree personal terms before they make the bid. That is the number one mistake. And we genuinely made an amateur mistake like it's a League Two team. Like when Ornstein tweeted it out, he was like, personal terms are a formality. Turns out it's not a formality because it was actually what made the difference at the end. And we ended up, instead of getting our guy, just 2 weeks ago, had we just paid 50 million for Lavia, by the way, this whole fan base wouldn't be in a meltdown or anything. Life would have just carried on and we'd have got our DM and would have been like a bit more excited for this season. But it's just mistake after mistake after mistake in execution. And the levels of player is going down. The pull situation, the attractive situation, I always said City are first place because they've got Pep, because they've got recent success, and they have better players than us right now. I only had us in second place. But the execution that we've had this summer has not met the actual pull or attractive levels from a monetary level or from an like administrative level or from like actually making the decisions level. And you could see the levels going down. Amrabat, Endo, like we started this summer with Jude. And then you have Chouameni, and then you have Barella, and then you have Caicedo, and then you have Lavia, and then you have Decore, then you have Amrabat, and then you have Endo. So it's just the levels keep going down, and we only have ourselves to blame for it.
Last season, when you was in a situation similar, and you had to get Arthur on loan, and did they not learn from that? Then now they look like they're didn't. They look like they're in the same situation. The window's ending in 2 weeks, and Liverpool are in the shit in the middle of the park. And people now know you've got 115 million because you've fucking shown it to everyone. So people are now going to... I get with you. Whoever's running the show there has dropped a massive bollock. And the Liverpool fans need to call that out. You can't sit back. Yeah. This is what I'm not having a go at you and a lot of the younger Liverpool fans because you're getting it. The older ones, their answer to everything is, we're a bigger club than you. So what? But what I'm saying is, go out and call your owners out or your director of football because you've made yourself look a twat and you're going to get played. Man United got played in the transfer market a lot of times over the years with Alexis Sanchez and things like that. But now you look at Man United and the way they're doing it now with under Ten Hag, and I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think they're going to get played like that. But it's bad when you're showing everyone how much money you've got and then you get rejected and then now you're in no man's land. That's all I'm saying. But the older Liverpool fans, they're so deluded. They won't call that out. It's all about, yeah, well, we're still bigger than you. We're still Liverpool. We're still this. But what I'm saying is I'm looking at Liverpool and I'm thinking they're not getting any better. You know, from that season when they were up there, they seem to be gradually getting worse. But I don't know where they go from here.
Well, listen, I get where you're coming from, and I know that Hussam has called out a lot of Liverpool fans in the past. I know that recently Red Men have kind of snapped back at you on socials. I saw the video exchange between kind of both parties. What again? Do you think it helps Klopp, Hussam, when I'm seeing Liverpool fans, as you say, you mentioned it already, kind of talking about the stats of Endo and how it really works out? I'm still not seeing the kind of top red diehard matchgoers looks frustrated about this situation. And the pool argument is one thing. I think we've got an answer, you know, who's got the best pool at the minute out of you in Chelsea. I think Chelsea have. I think they're a more attractive project to a lot of these young players than Liverpool are. Historically amazing. But if you feel your owners, and some people even think your manager are taking you backwards, that's going to impact your ability to sign players. Because if everything you're saying is right and FSG are not going to change, But they look at a Chelsea, they look at an Arsenal, they look at a City, whose owners have got, whether Chelsea have executed it properly yet or not, their owners have got the ambition to try and be the best club in England. Newcastle have as well. That's going to make you fall behind the pecking order. As you got, look, Liverpool was still the second biggest team in England when you went 30 years without a Prem. But when you weren't acting like a big club, you did not, very rarely did you sign the stars that other top teams in England during those, during Blackburn's pomp, when Newcastle were challenging, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, City. Most of those teams signed top players over you. Of course, you got the Suarez's. You signed Fernando Torres's as an example. You did sign some top players. I'm not saying you got nobody, but it was the other clubs that pretty much got the stars. Are you worried that's going to now start happening again if FSG and Klopp stay?
Am I worried it's happening? It's happening in front of our very own eyes as we speak. It's happening. Like, it's just this whole Endo situation. It's proof that it's happening. And for me, look, Klopp. I said if this was a jail term, FSGN would go in for life and Klopp would do 3 years. Like, when I say Klopp is responsible as well, I'm not saying they're the same levels of responsibility, because by definition, Klopp can't give himself power. Someone has got to give Jurgen Klopp power, and that all roads point back to the ownership group, the entire sporting director situation. If I'm John W. Henry, I sit down right now with Jurgen Klopp and I go like, you are going to be my head coach. You're not going to be making transfer decisions. And I get a serious sporting director and I get them to work together so we can get ultimate results, like the likes of Mo Salah, like the likes of Sadio Mane, like the likes of players like that. The reason why I'm upset and frustrated